guys, Vengeful Raider here with another video. That's right, you couldn't keep me away. Well, here's a quick build video. Now, this is a car I got a long time ago that I really wanted to work on for you guys. I wanted to build a monster truck, and I already wrote up the lore behind it. Yes, I do write lore behind my vehicles. I know some of you might find it sad, but I think it's cool. Anyway, this is the car I chose. It's the old school 1960s Chrysler 300F Mopar car, and I was a huge fan of the cars from the 60s. I absolutely adore them. Still do. Really nice cars. But this is the one I chose. Now this is 164th scale, and the reason I chose an M2 machine for this vehicle build is because a lot of the parts open on it, such as the doors, the hood. There's hood detail under there. It's got some cool wheels to it, nice chrome shiny parts, and a fully detailed interior, which is something I really need for this build. So as you can see, when you order an M2 car, it will come on a plaque like this. If you're in the States, you can just pick this up at the store. If you're in the UK, you're gonna have to order it online. I know, it sucks. But yeah. Anyway, to the build. So, yeah, as I said, this is a Chrysler, and it's a pretty decent car. I really love the shape. It's got this sort of very menacing, like, you know, like the cars from the 50s, they have fins and chrome, and they usually look very sharp around the edges. Now, this car I liked in particular is because it's quite beefy. It's got quite a menacing sort of like bruiser kind of look to it. Really, really nice. Now, the cool thing about these M2 machines is they're held together with screws, so you can just unscrew the bottom. No drills needed. How sweet is that? Getting the hood to open as simple as just turning it upside down, giving it a couple of taps, and some paint chips will come off, and then the hood will open. As you can see, fully detailed interior for the engine and the internals of the car, which is really nice. I mean, it's a pretty sweet piece. I plan on using it in another vehicle. I don't really intend on using this engine for this build. But yeah, and you can see the doors open and all that sort of stuff. So if you do want to remove the doors, it's just as simple as unscrewing them. So if you do want to do a build, it's super easy to do with a car like this. You can remove some of the key components without having to use a drill, which is nice. And it rolls relatively easily, as you can see here as it's zipping around. So this is where I got to basically before I wanted to really get into the video. This is the basic frame I did. Now I did the frame for the underside a little while ago. Like I had it sort of planned out. I used a tractor, 1/64 scale tractor. I chopped it to pieces, and I used a Bigfoot kit, which was, I think it was a green light sort of model. I chopped the two together and build this undercarriage. So let's remove this. So what I'm going to be teaching you guys quickly is how to use a drill to remove parts of this vehicle that you don't necessarily want. Like for this build, I really do not want the trunk on this, because when I see the trunk, I see, hey, you know, bay for a guy to stand throwing boomsticks or whatever, or, you know, harpoon bay or something like this. I don't see trunk. So the first thing we're going to need to do is remove all of the non-essential components from the internals. As I said, simple as this. You just get a screwdriver, or if you're lazy like me, just use the adapter kit from your drill and unscrew it manually here. Because my screwdriver was like all the way across the room, and I ain't got time for that. But yeah, let's unscrew it. So as you can see, you can unscrew the screws. Now make sure you put them somewhere where you can see them. Now I have no problem distinguishing like different shades of like black and stuff. That's fine. Some people might have a bit of an issue. Funny enough, my issue is blue. I can't see different shades of blue too well, or purple for that matter. But anyway, that's besides the point. So this is the frame. We're going to need to remove that windshield. It's held in with a rivet. Now, some of the parts, as you can see, the chrome parts, I've removed already. They were just held in by a sort of like melted on kind of plastic rivet. Simple as easy as pie. You can go over with a hobby knife and just remove those. But for the metal rivets, like you see here in the top, it's best to use a drill. So drill a small pilot hole first. As you can see here, just remove some of the flesh, and then you want to go in with a bigger drill, because with a bigger drill, you're going to be able to remove the rest of the rivet. And the reason you go in with a small one first is so you have a guiding sort of point for the larger drill. Now, yeah, it's kind of tricky to get it right first try, so if you make a couple of mistakes, don't worry. Now, whatever you do, take it nice and slow. You don't want to drill a hole straight through the roof of the car, because that is such a pain to patch up. It really is. This is a similar thing I had to do for the Barracuda Trooper, which you guys may have seen in the time extended thing. I've had a few comments on it from you guys, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the support. So yeah, this is how you remove the windshield on these M2 machines. You're gonna have to drill out the rivet, as I'm just trying to clear out some of the flash. As you can see there, go in a couple of times if you drill. The drill's handy here. It has a sort of like light on it. I like that feature. It's cool. But yeah, take it nice and slow, guys. Don't hit the gas and go through it like 1,000,000 miles an hour, because you'll end up in a wall, so to speak. So yeah, that's some of the flash taken off here. And now all you need to do is remove the windshield itself. Now I tried to remove it with my hands at first, thinking, this would be easy, but this plastic is stubborn. It doesn't necessarily want to budge, and I didn't want to crack the windshield. Now that's something you really don't want to do. So what I did here was I took out my old trusty pocket knife here, my Swiss Army knife, and I slid it between the windshield and the roof of the car here, as you can see, and gently prized it from it, very gently. You don't want to go in too hard because it will snap and crack. Now, what you didn't see was it flew up and hit me directly in the face. But, you know, it's good because I kind of caught it. I got a little bit of a crack in the top of the windshield after cutting down the plastic, but it's nothing major. I mean, this is a wasteland car. It's not designed to be coming like it's not supposed to look like it's come out of the showroom this way. If it did, I'd love to know where it came from. I'll be first in line. But yeah, so now we need to chop into the metal. My plan here is to obviously put away my my pocket knife, and I want to remove a square slot in the roof, and I want to remove the trunk. Like, before you remove the trunk, I'm guessing you don't have the correct tools. You're like me, you're just like a regular Joe who only has a drill and a file on hand. So what we're going to do is, we're going to drill some holes in the trunk, well, more like indents with a smaller drill bit as guiding points. And the reason we want to drill plenty of these holes, it'll look, first of all, like the thing has been shot up with like a shotgun or something. So this is the kind of hole you want to start out with. You want to do a few of those along the trunk. And then once you've done those, you go in with a large drill bit. Now make sure you don't do it too close to the mold lines, and drill a nice sort of large sort of dent so you can get an idea of how it's going. After that, you're going to want to drill all the way through. And so you sort of get something like that. So eventually, once you've drilled out your holes, you'll have something like this. And I know it doesn't look like a square hole at the moment, but now you just need to remove that middle piece, and you'll see what I mean. So the metal on these M2 cars, some of them, it can be quite thick. I underestimated the thickness of the metal here. So I kind of attacked it with these sort of cutters, and realized at the point where, this stuff is quite sturdy. Took a little while of prying it and bending it and stuff. At a point, I did kind of lose my patience a little bit, you know, like you'll see in a second. So I'm trying to pry it off with these cutters, and I realize this is not working. This metal is way too thick, and I don't want to change the shape of the car, so I didn't want to bend it too much. So what I decided to do was, to go, you know what, just snap it off with my hands. There you go. Problem solved, right? Wouldn't recommend that, though. You don't want to cut your hands because the metal can get a bit sharp. So now what you do is, if you have bent the internal, let's say like the barrier, you see that, or the, what's the word, the strut, you know, like where the trunk meets the window frame kind of area. Just put your clippers in there and bend it back into shape. It's super malleable at this point because it's lost its structural integrity, which is good. So there you go. You can see I've bent it back into shape. Relatively simple. Now what you want to do is get a simple file and just file away on the internals. Just file like this for a good long while. Now it will take a little while, but you will get excellent results. And because it takes a long time, and I know, you know, it takes a long time. A lot of you guys are like, this takes too long. You'll get better results. As you can see here, I was able to file it exactly the way I wanted, so I could get the perfect shape. Now we have a nice area in the back for, say, a turret, or say a harpoon, or some dude in the back, you know what I mean, like to throw the boomsticks or the thundersticks. So the same deal here for the roof. I drilled a hole just big enough for the file to fit through, and you just let the file eat away at the metal and do the rest. It's that simple. Look how neat those results are. That's just from using the file. That's all, guys. There's no diamond saw. There's nothing like that involved here. It's just simple as a drill and a file. That's all you need. So my day, from this point to the next stage, my day got very, very stressful. Like I had a lot of stuff I needed to take care of. Because as some of you guys know, I came out of the hospital and I have a lot of stuff I need to sort. So I wasn't able to exactly prepare my workstation, as you can see here, as nicely as I would have. I've got my 2 MFP cars in the background there, or cars that will soon be MFP cars. I'm going to do a paint guide and a build guide to building replica MFP, or close to as possible, cars from the original Mad Max film. So, as you can see here, we've got our frame, we've got our undercarriage, everything's drilled out, everything's filed down, and we've got a whole bunch of spare bits here. And I've got some of my spare Devil's Run guys. Now, if you want vehicle crew, I would honestly advise going to the Mad Car guys, and you'll see why. I'm using some of my old, oh yeah, this is my glue pot, by the way. The lid got stuck. Don't ask me how. I had to cut the top of the lid off to get to the glue bit. And I don't really have another pot of glue right now. I know I'm broke as hell, but yeah. Right now, I'm using my spare bits. So these are some of my old Devil's Run guys. And the reason I got Devil's Run, because back in the day, these were the only sort of 20mm dudes I could get a hold of. I would advise going to Mad Cars now. There's a link to Mad Cars in the description below. You'll find drivers of all types, all themes, you name it, they got it. Go there for your vehicle crew. Trust me on this, you will not be disappointed. Right, so, as you can see here, I'm building a custom driver from a motorcycle guy. I chopped his legs off of the bike and had to remove the bike from the center part between his legs, which was a nightmare. And I tried to match it up to the top of another biker dude here to get my own kind of custom driver, and it was not working too well. Like, it wanted to glue to everything apart from itself, like you'll sort of see in a moment. But yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. It kept sticking to my fingers, and then I ended up with a biker, well, half a biker on either finger, and I got really kind of like, great. You know, like the glue pot itself is my last pot of glue, and yeah, as you can see, it's not in exactly the best shape, so I had to hurry up before the glue dried, so to speak. So yeah, just trying to get the dude in the chair was a pain in the ass, and like I said again, guys, just go to Mad Cars. You won't have to deal with all this hassle. The guys come pre-assembled in a position to put behind the wheel of a car. It's perfect for you guys. Do it. I don't know what you're doing not doing it. You gotta be crazy not to do it. But I am pretty nuts. Anyway, on with the video. So, as you can see here, the Devil's Run dudes, they're so fragile. The arm just snapped off as I was trying to put him in the seat by itself. That was pretty disappointing. Now, the reason I'm putting the driver in now is because I'm not going to glue the top of the car to the bottom of the car before painting. I'm going to paint them in 2 separate stages, and I need the driver in the car to give me an idea of how much room I've got to play with. And it is such a nightmare getting this driver in this car, like as you're seeing here. But, you know, when it comes to putting crew in your vehicles, it's not mandatory, guys. It's not something you have to do, but if you want to do it, you're going to need a lot of thought into this. You're going to need to measure the dude and measure the vehicle to see if it fits, because he might be too tall. If he is, it's as simple as breaking out the file and just filing down the guy's underside until he fits, or filing down the seats. It's down to you. So as you can see here, the body kit sits nicely on top of the frame. So, moving on to the next stage here. Rambled on a bit there, I do apologize, guys. So, we've got our dude in the seat, we've got another crew member assembled, who also discombobulates later on. But yeah, we've now got ourselves an engine. And I'd recommend going to the auto kill guys for engine parts. As you see here, I chose their like uber heavyweight engine, like a V12 kind of monster engine to put in the front of this behemoth. And yeah, I think this is the kind of engine that would even make Lord Humongous himself shiver. And I'm super happy with, like, you know, the way it looks. Like the auto kill guys really know how to make high quality parts. So we're gonna need a blower now for this engine. And we're going to need to assemble something that looks really menacing, because this is a monster truck. And it's not just any monster truck. This is the vehicle I want to use as my, like, HQ, you know what I mean? Like, my centerpiece for my Raider faction. You know, you've seen all my other, like, pirate cars and my pirate war rig and that sort of stuff. This is supposed to be, like, the leader's vehicle, so to speak. So, and thus why it's named after the channel. This monster truck is named the Vengeful Raider. But yeah, this hood scoop, I was going through a whole bunch. These are the auto kill hood scoops that I'm showing you quickly here. Now, they are super detailed. Like, this one looks really nice. I'm just trying to think of where I can put it on the engine, but I'm thinking I might save this for another build. So, let's have a look at what else we got here. So, we got the super size, humongous, extra large hood scoop, which I absolutely adore, but I think that would look better on a war rig or something, so we'll put it on hold. I got this piece which I scavenged from a Hot Wheels car, but this is just ridiculously oversized, so we don't want that. I've got this supercharger, just the supercharger connection point without the intake or the hood scoop as it is. And I thought, you know what, I could stick that on there and that would look nice. And if we put like a hood scoop on top of that, that looks very Fury Road-ish. And obviously we're going to use a auto kill hood scoop here. So we've got our supercharge, which I had from my spare bits lying around. I encourage you guys to mix and match different kits together, really kit bash these creations to give them a unique look. So I used a little paper to cover the holes, and I showed you guys how to use paper in my Death Race build guide. So as you can see, we've now got a nice little supercharger on there, no holes, and we've got our hood scoop on top of that. And this engine looks really nice. I'm really happy with this. Now, I didn't glue it in for simple reasons of it needs a little bit more work with filing it down, and all this type of stuff to get it to really sit nicely. But that's our engine, as you can see here. Super proud of it, really cool. And yeah, so I've put a skull now. Now this skull is just a placeholder, guys, for another skull, because I want to find something that fits more in the right scale. But if you like this skull, check out Ken Overby's Chop Shop and Guns. He makes all types of various strange components and engines and all sorts of stuff you can check out. Highly recommended, especially if you're in the United States. So yeah, check it out. So, like I said, using spare bits, I've got these headlights, which was from the motorcycle I chopped apart. I decided I could use as searchlights. So I just attached them to the top, and I had some spare spikes from one of the Devil's Run kits. So I just decided to glue this onto the roof here to give it sort of like this sort of menacing kind of forward, sort of like aggressive, spiky kind of stance. Because, you know, like with a monster truck like this, say you to look behind you, all you'd see is these searchlights with just spikes coming out of them everywhere, and that would look pretty menacing, I was thinking. So I glued that to the top to give it more of an aggressive stance. Now, when you want to build a monster truck, you have to, or any car for Gaslands, have a rough idea in your mind of what you're going for. Either a military, a police, a raider, aggressive, defensive, what kind of design are you going for? Because you don't want to really mix and match this stuff too much. So now we're going to go on to exhaust pipes, or pipes of death, or death pipes, or hell pipes, or whatever the hell you want to call them. And yeah, I'm thinking we're going to use some sort of truck style pipes here. Maybe we can put this truck pipe in here. Now this is the pipe I had spare from my war rig. I removed it when I was building the war rig and used a different style of pipe that I got from the auto kill guys for the war rig. But this was the original pipe the truck came with. Not thinking it'll work too well with this build. These are some auto kill exhaust pipes I got here as well. As you can see, these look really nice. I like these. I've got quite a few of them, so I'm thinking, you know what, we could use these, maybe tuck them into the sides there. That'd look really cool. Like have them on the rear of the vehicle and have them like leaning out almost, and it would look, in my mind, a little bit like a crown, because you've got like that sort of shape of the vehicle itself. So let's first have a look at what else we got. So we're going to put those at one side and think, okay, those are on our maybe list. We could stick maybe these pipes on the front, maybe not. You know, it looks a bit too much like a hot rod. Let's put the frame and the body together to get a more of a rounded idea. So we've got our engine in there. We can stick these pipes here, and they'll look alright, you know, like these exhaust pipes. They look pretty menacing if they're jutting out the sides. We could stick these sort of hot rod style pipes just along the side here. That'll give it very much a wacky races kind of look. I don't mind that. That's cool. So let's see what else we got here. So I think we're gonna maybe go with the yeah, we're definitely gonna go with these pipes here. These pipes have more of a menacing look, and to be honest, I prefer it. So these are the ones you get from Ken Overby. They're really nice, and I'd highly recommend them for other truck builds or something like that, but I just didn't have enough of them. I only had the two. So what else do we have here? Now these are like the Mad Max Interceptor pipes, and I was thinking at one point I could maybe glue these on the rear or glue them under the wheel arch, but then I thought it wouldn't leave much room for the wheels if it was in the real world for them to tuck upwards, say if it was going over rough terrain without catching on those pipes. Yes, I do put thought into this. I think of the vehicle as if it was in the real world, how would I best make it so that it didn't kind of like, you know, discombobulate upon going down the road. So we've got our pipes here. I think, yeah, these are the ones we're going to go with, and we'll see how this looks. So we're going to glue these onto the sides, but before that, remember, always clean up as you go along. Now, I'd recommend you guys separate your parts, your bits boxes, so to speak, get them in little bags, and sort each type of part into a different bag. So you get exhaust pipes in one, hood scoops in another, engines in another, all this types of stuff, weapons in another. Otherwise, you'll be rooting through your stuff for a long time. So as you can see, my glue pot here is kind of destroyed and mangled, so it doesn't put the glue out properly. It's kind of messy. We're just putting some glue on the side of the vehicle. Most people paint strip their stuff. With this, I'm not going to bother because I'm going to be going over with a lot of rust and different types of effects and stuff, which I will be showing you guys and teaching you guys how to do yourselves. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave anything out in the painting section at all. I'm going to teach you guys all the tricks that I've managed to learn. So, right, so let's glue these on here, as you can see. We're just going to try and get it so it's nice and sort of, you could say, mean looking, maybe. Like, we don't want it to look like the pipes are too straight upwards. We want them to stick out a little bit like, I don't know, like elf ears, you could say, almost. Because we want this thing to have a bit of a ramshackle, menacing kind of like, you know, rusted, bolted, and chained together, like brutal kind of look. We want to really give it a sort of aggressive, angry, holding together with pure rage kind of look. So, so we're going to do that with our pipes. We're just going to gently put them on the sides. We're just going to replicate that on the other side. So as you can see here, these pipes are just sticking out at slightly different angles to one another because we really want to generate that look of asymmetry. We don't want this thing to look perfect because that's just unrealistic. In the wasteland, I doubt that there's going to be some foreman watching over the guys build the trucks and say, no, this pipe is 2 inches out of alignment. You know, it's kind of more along the lines of, oh, we found some more, like, you know, smoky bits. Bolt them onto the sides, you know, kind of deal. Yeah, that would look great. More chains and more skulls and that type of thing. So as you can see, the exhaust pipes, we've got that sort of real crown kind of shape going on now. If you get what I mean, we've got a real aggressive kind of holding together, like barely kind of look to it also. So yeah, I am super happy with that. Now this is the basic frame, as you can see here. We got the basic concept nailed down. Now this is still the concept stage. We're just molding out the very rough edges of our vehicle. We're not doing anything too extreme. We're not, say, adding on tons of stuff. We'll be doing that in a moment. So as you can see here, just seeing a test fit, see if some of the crew guys that I've assembled by mixing, matching different crew guys together to make our own unique crew members. More like Frankenstein crew members. But yeah, we're going to see if we can make them fit in the vehicle and see how they look, of course. Because remember, rule of cool, people. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. If you like the way it looks, if you dig it, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? So, as you can see, the crew member fits. He's got sort of like 1 foot up on the dashboard there. I am going to be fitting a machine gun. I don't have a machine gun for this vehicle yet, the one I want. I ordered a couple of bits and pieces from a guy called Sergeant Mess. He makes metal parts, but he hasn't got back to me in a while. I'm not sure if his store is still running. I paid for them. I might have to get a refund. But yeah, as you can see here, we've got our roof hatch for our gunner, and I showed you guys how to do that. And we've got our rear hatch for, say, a dude with thunder sticks to come out of. You know what I mean? We'll have a dude stood in the background like, yeah, ready to throw his thunder sticks. And more importantly, the entire vehicle still rolls. Hey guys, so I'm a little disappointed. The video got corrupted as I was filming, and I lost a lot of the work that I recorded, but this is basically where I'm at in the build. As you can see, I've applied the chains that I said I was going to, and I used the paper technique to add some more armor to the underside of the exhaust system. And you can see where I've used pipes going in from the underside to the exhausts. And I swapped out the skull for a more appropriate one, added some chains, added some more pipes, like guitar string, basically, that type of stuff, to the underside and to the internals of the engine to give it more of a constructed kind of look. As you can see here, we've got the exhaust pipes, and we've also got a pipe going along the side up into the fuel tank, which is mounted in the back here, as you can see. Everything is as realistic as I could possibly get it. We have a fuel tank that actually has a fuel line that goes to the front where the engine is located. We've got our engine pipes that go to where the exhausts are from just above the engine. We've got everything in there that keeps it realistic. These are some Ken Overby wheels I've got on the front here. They're resin, and I didn't want as much rubber as you'd think on the vehicle. Rubber is kind of difficult to work with when painting it. It gets all messed up sometimes. The frame still comes off, as you can see here, and you can see the fuel line there from the tank to the front, and you can see the 2 exhaust pipes from the underside of the vehicle going to the connection points underneath the frame. So this is where I'm at the build. As you can see, I've built the drivetrain. I used a safety pin to give it a sort of structural support kind of look. And we've got the drivetrain giving this thing 4-wheel drive, so to speak, from the front all the way down to the back. I wanted to make it as realistic for you guys as possible, and while we're painting this, all these little details will really stand out. Now, the wheels are not glued on, they just connect off, and that's why they're all able to rotate and whatnot. So we've got our driver in there. He's looking menacing, one hand on the gear lever, just, shifting, and the other hand will be on the wheel when the frame is back on top. So you get the general idea, folks. I really am sorry about it getting corrupted. That really bugs me. But there's the engine. As you can see there, we've got a chain holding it on. We've got a skull at the front. We've got a row of skulls there. So yeah, a lot of the chrome parts I'm going to put on after it's painted and weather them down. So if you would like to get the components that I've used in this video, the best parts you can get, I'd recommend going to the Autokill guys, Chemseal Designs, Ken's Chop Shop and Miniatures, like Ken's Chop Shop and Guns, or definitely Mad Cars. Please go and check out the Mad Cars stuff. It is insane. Same as Autokill, same as Chemseal, same as Ken. This stuff is absolutely remarkable. Please check it out, guys. I really appreciate all the support. If you would like to see more of these videos and like to see me continuing uploading them, let me know what you like, and I'll try and make it into a video. I've still got the Buzzard build to come. I want to do the MFP build. I'll probably get the MFP build and paint guide done before the Buzzards, simply because of the way stuff is sort of structured in my life right now. I do apologize. Please let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It does mean a huge amount to me. Like, it makes a huge difference. It lets me know I'm doing something right, and I am absolutely gobsmacked and blown away by the amount of support you guys have given. I'd seriously give you all a really spiky hug. Thank you so much. Alright, guys, so you know the drill, survivors. Drive angry, and I'll see you in the wasteland.